Word, Chad said. These zombies aren't getting us today. They all looked at Chad in disbelief. Zombies? Sabrina asked. Well, look at 'em, Chad offered. He held his hand to invite them to see the weirdos smashing into the window. I mean, maybe not the Romero type, but something. What do you call them? Sean studied the weirdos for a moment, their hungry gazes fixed on the dinner inside of the store. Well, I guess you're right. Right now, we're burritos, and this store is a microwave. Charlie rolled her eyes. Could we be serious for a moment? My mom would have just called them junkies, Sabrina said. She said one time some dude bit another guy in the face because he was high. Maybe they're high. Junkies, weirdos, zombies, Charlie offered. It doesn't matter. Wait, Chad said. We can all just agree for future reference. He held up his hand. Sabrina and Sean followed. Charlie also looked to see Laura and Maddox raise their hands. Okay, Charlie surrendered. Zombies it is. Crash! One of the zombies smashed through the window, slumping to the floor. It stood up, sniffing and snarling, looking around the dimmed video store. Charlie peeked over the horror section to see that it was just a few aisles over, searching for food. She ducked back down. She mumbled in a horrified whisper, It's the man. Laura started to squeal, but Sean covered her mouth. Thump. Sabrina looked over the section to see that the woman stood up. She ducked back down. Now they're both in here, Sabrina whispered. Okay, we need to get to the break room and lock them out, Charlie said. Sabrina nodded. Follow me. She crawled around the horror aisle, then quickly shrunk back. The unkempt man had now moved around his gallery, sniffing the air. It's blocking the door. The fluorescent lights flickered ominously as they all turned toward the noise of chaotic breathing. Charlie grabbed a VHS tape and chucked it in the far corner, hitting the window. Arr! The things groaned, snapping their heads towards the noise. Sabrina darted toward the door, opened it, and waited for the others. She looked back at the two things thrashing at a movie stand-up. Maddox froze, but Laura ran as hard and fast as she could, followed by Sean and Chad. Come on, buddy, Charlie said, her breaths sounding more and more like panic. Maddox covered his ears and shook his head. Come on, she said. Sean grabbed Sabrina by the arm. 3 taps, lock the door, and you'll know it's me in 3 taps. Lock it. I'm going after them. He slammed the door harder than intended and met Charlie and Maddox. The two things snapped their heads toward Sean. He saw them momentarily. Their tongues licked their teeth, and they started between the aisles of action and drama. Sean fell to his knees and crawled to Maddox. Buddy, you need to be brave, Sean said. Maddox shook his head. The female creature ambled around the horror section, spotting them on the floor. Her torn and bloodied clothing made for an appalling sight, and Maddox froze. Its eyes were glazed over, void of humanity, searching only for its next meal. It let out a guttural moan, echoing through the store like a siren of impending doom. Beneath its moans were the loud whispers of feet dragging against the carpet. The unkempt man was getting closer. The female moved. It seemed to sense the fear hanging in the air, its nose sniffing as if picking up the scent of dread. It lurched towards them, its uneven gait making a grotesque sound against the carpeted floor. Each step it took seemed to draw closer to Maddox. It can't end like this, Charlie whispered. Get Maddox out. I'll meet you at the car. But babe, Sean said. Take care of them, Charlie said. Sean nodded, scooped up Maddox, moaning as he did, and dashed toward the break room. He froze as his eyes met the unkempt man, but he tapped 3 times. The messy man stumbled towards them, and Maddox screamed as he opened his eyes to see the crooked fingers reach for him. The door didn't open quickly enough. The man was now 12 feet away. Sean knocked again. The door opened, and he rushed in, throwing Maddox into a chair and helping Sabrina slam the door shut and lock it.